world. They're hairless up until about 6 months old, and their eyes are still closed. And then once they start to pop their head out of the pouch, then they'll develop their hair, their eyes will open, and then these guys will go in and out of the pouch. So at that time, by 7 months old, you can pull them from moth and bottle. So all of our kangaroos we've got for like 7 months. We actually have a 7-month-old in there. We have one out in the field that is in pouch. That's so well. So that'd be the first kangaroo we had one here on the farm. The female kangaroos stay about 3.5 to 4 months max. They're pretty petite, about 60 pounds. Now the males, even the females, the kangaroos never stop growing. The males continue to grow. And he came up for several. She sucks on the corner of that towel. I just noticed he's doing that one. We need to pacify her.
All that extra hands or so
So what?
extra hands.
They're maybe one in the dryer. Mommy,
Yeah. She was
Good morning, everybody. We're gonna be doing the Sloth Keeper experience today. You're hanging out here with Flash. He's chilling up there, and then look, we have Zoe here, who's very eager. Let's see if we can. This is how eager our sloth is to come see us. Zoe's a little bit of a creeper. Hilarious. Jeez. Hey guys, I'm Kevin and this is Flash. We're going to be doing the Sloth Keeper experience live here today. So it's going to be about 3 hours. We won't be going live for the whole thing, but feel free to watch. We'll be on all the different social media. So you'll get to see what it's like to hang out with all 3 sloths. So we have Flash, Zoe, and Dash. 3 sloths. And you'll probably get to see a bunch of other animals today. So make sure you're watching today. It's going to be awesome.
Here and get started. Flash is already down and ready for us. So this is Flash. Go ahead and step all the way in. Flash is about 6 years old. So we can feed him his breakfast this morning. This is all for him. Sometimes he's a little bit picky, so we'll have to see what he's liking this morning. You can just set those anywhere on the counter. But when we go to feed Flash, we kind of feed him like a little reverse beds dispenser, where he gets a hold of the end of it, and then you can let go of it, and he'll take the rest of it. Sometimes it kind of takes him a minute to decide if he wants that piece or not. But I have offered him sometimes one end of the veggie. He hasn't wanted it, and I've offered him the other end, and then he's taking it. So sometimes he's just a little finicky, but I'll try to give him any of that. Zoe's right in there. She's obviously very ready this morning as well. I think I'm going to try to close this just a little bit to kind of get her to calm down, because we're not ready for her just yet.
Are we allowed to pet him?
You are, so just real nice and slow with an open hand just down his back. He doesn't really like the cat scratches or anything like that. You
Okay,
see how
well, he might
feel
not
how
want to
soft
be
it
petted.
is.
Hey, Flash. If you're tall enough to reach.
Yeah. And then you can see behind you here, a little gremlin is gonna wanna get your purses. So he is a little gremlin when he's in the basket, so he may not want you to touch him.
Hey, what is he doing?
So that's what I was starting to say, was that when he's in the basket, he's a little gremlin and does not want, fingers and things like that close to him. But once you get him out, he's completely fine. So he is looking very anxious this morning. We'll go ahead and get him out here. But once you have him out and he's on you, he's completely fine. So you can pet him just real nice and slow down his back like that.
That is so cool. He's not wanting to eat. Look at him, he's went to the
Yeah.
ceiling. He's like, nope, no food right now.
This is Dash. Dash is 8 months old. So we've got Flash and Dash, Zoe, and then our next baby we'll name Chloe.
Hi, Dash.
When is Chloe arriving?
It should be within the next few weeks.
That's cool.
Ah.
Yep, you can see down, well, he's not got them too bad right now, but down on the back, usually they have little cowlicks that kind of come up the wrong way. It makes me, I just want to like squish them all down because it's just opposite direction running there, but there are 2-fingered sloths. They've got 2 on the front and 3 on the back. 2-toed Linnaeus sloth. So the 2-toed variety, there's two different types. There's Linnaeus and Hoffman. And there's just a little bit of a difference between the two, the way they look. And then the 3-toed sloths have like 4 or 5 different species of those. So the 3-toed ones are the ones where you see pictures of them that have like the darker bands around their eyes, and they kind of look like they're smiling all the time. Yeah. Trying to air it out here this morning. Zoe had went to the bathroom overnight, and that is a massive event for them when they do that because they expel about 1/3 of their entire body weight every time they go to the bathroom.
Wow.
So sloths only go to the bathroom about once every 7 to 10 days, and every time they do go, it's a good amount that they expel.
Okay, on this side? No. He's not gonna eat.
No.
And so that's kind of a cool thing about sloths too, is that it takes their digestive tract 30 days to digest everything that's in it from start to finish. So if they were to continue to eat even after that system is full, it would get backed up pretty quickly. So they kind of have like a little internal off switch that they can just flip whenever their system tells them, hey, I'm getting full, stop eating. They'll just flip that. They won't eat for the rest of the day or just several hours until their system tells them, okay, hey, it's all right to start eating now.
Wow.
Where are you guys from?
Smyrna.
Lawrenceburg.
Lawrenceburg.
Oh.
I'm from the Smyrna area, more like Nashville.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. How'd you guys hear about us?
I was just looking it up online.
Mm-hmm.
I was just curious to see if there was any like sloth petting interactive things around, and then
Yeah.
I found it.
Yeah. Cool. You guys ever interacted with any sloths before?
No. No, sloth is like one of my favorite animals.
Yeah.
So.
So you guys
Good
sort of-
morning, y'all. I'm John.
Brianna.
Brian,
Janet.
Janet, where you guys from?
I'm from Smyrna, near Nashville.
Oh, cool.
Lawrenceburg.
Where's Lawrenceburg?
Near Alabama line.
Oh, okay. Which way?
South. Well,
West.
if you,
It'll be west.
west.
Obviously
Yeah.
south, yeah. I was clued in on that part. So, I'm gonna do the information part with Flash, and then she's gonna do all the snuggling and cuddling and taking care of sloths and stuff like that. So, this is Flash. Flash is a 2-fingered sloth. Alive in the world today, there's 2-fingered sloths and 3-fingered sloths. Taxonomically, they're still called 2-toed, 3-toed, but the fingered makes more sense because they all have 3 on the back feet. His are closed up there, you can't see. So they all have 3 on the back feet, and 2-fingered have 2 on the front, 3-fingered have 3 on, yeah, that's one of his back feet right there. 2-fingered have 2 on the front, 3-fingered have 3 on the front. There's other significant differences between them, which makes the most sense if I show you from the picture of a skeleton. We should print these out because I use these every time. This is just a Google search of a sloth skeleton. So a 2-fingered sloth, which this is, has 5 vertebrae in the cervical spine between the skull and the shoulders, and no tail. And he's got 46 ribs, 23 sets of ribs.
Whoa.
The three-fingered sloth has 9 vertebrae in the cervical spine between skull and shoulders, 3 vertebrae of a tail. So the 4 missing from the neck and the 3 missing from the tail are all between the hips and shoulders of the two-fingered sloth. So that's why the two-fingered sloth is more built like a truck and the three-fingered is more built like a sports car. But it's a sports car that they're going to push across the stage at Barrett-Jackson because it ain't never going to go anywhere fast. So see, he's got all these extra ribs between hips and shoulders and not a tail and not a long neck. This guy's arms are longer than his body and his legs are longer than his arms. The three-fingered sloth, his arms are much longer than his body, but then he's got small legs. So they're very different animals. Looking at them, the two-fingered sloth has more of a snout. The three-fingered sloth has like the flat face with the mask on their face. And the two-fingered sloth is a little bit bigger and a little bit quicker than a three-fingered sloth. But to describe a three-fingered sloth as quicker than anything, you can only be talking about a two-fingered sloth, because collectively they are the world's slowest mammals. And you guys are going to feed this guy his breakfast while I tell you about him today.
We've been trying to give him some stuff, but he's not taking
I'm
it.
going to give you some other stuff. So you guys are going to give him some of this here for a little bit, as long as you're good with a sloth licking your fingers. All right. He's being a picky boy, that's what he really wants.
Oh,
Wow.
look at him.
Hi, what are
Yeah.
you doing?
So their sense of smell is wonderful. See, he already smells that. And what you're going to want to do is just take a little bit in your hand like that and give it to him like this. While you're feeding him, you can stand about this close to take pictures with him if you want. You can stand to nose with him, and you can do a kind of nice picture like that. And he is a perfectly peaceful and gentle animal. He just has massive, huge teeth, so don't stick your finger inside of his mouth. Don't put it in his mouth, don't put it in my mouth. Either one of us might bite you if you stick your finger inside of our mouth. So you guys are he's gonna eat all of that rice right there most likely. So you guys just take little handfuls at a time and feed it to him.
You want
And
me to go
please do
first?
take all of the pictures and all the videos that you would like. And if you want to set up your camera on a tripod, we can grab another tripod for you.
You'll have to just take pictures of the time to me. Ready? Stand next to him.
Anywhere you like. So sloths are slow. Sloths are famously slow. But sloths are slow in ways that it may not have even occurred to you that a sloth could be slow. Certainly didn't occur to me before I started being a sloth guy. But sloths are slow not only in their movement, they're slow also in their digestion, their metabolism, their metabolic processes. They're slow in every way that an animal can be slow. So it starts from their diet. The sloth's energy budget is super low because of what they eat. In the wild, they're eating about 90% leaf material and 10% such as they can find. In captivity, they're eating about 75% leaf material. The leaves are a little harder to feed to him, and he has leaves free choice all day, every day in his bowls, right on the other side of that rotating door right there. So he's allowed to eat all day, every day, whenever he wants. He doesn't have to perform to eat.
More for you, buddy.
So this guy, sloths are slow. Not only there are other ways that a sloth is slow, and not necessarily slow, but low in energy. So a sloth cannot maintain its body temperature. In the rainforest, the daytime high is in the mid to upper 80s, nighttime low is in the high 60s. So his core body temperature can be 19 degrees Fahrenheit different from day to night. The sloth, so for a sloth that's normal. For us, that would be dropping from 98.6 all the way down to 79.6 from day to night. If our body temperature went down to 79.6, we would have a major, major problem. The sloths only make milk for their babies for about, you're going to fall down, Dash.
I was gonna say, I
He's
don't know
just
what.
dying for some attention.
Yeah.
The sloths only make milk for their babies for about 3 to 6 weeks. The sloths simply do not have the energy budget to make the milk for any longer than that. So about 3 to 6 weeks is all that they're going to make milk for their babies. Also, most mammals produce, store, deliver milk for their babies. So they produce over time, store it in their mammary glands, and then the babies nurse it all at once. Sloths have no storage. They produce and deliver at the same time. So as the baby is nursing from its mother, the mother is making the milk drop by drop as the baby nurses.
Oh, wow.
So they can't maintain their body temperature. They can't make milk for very long. They can't store milk. The sloth is while he's eating all this leaf material. Leaves are very low in nutritional value and very low in caloric content. So the sloth is getting very little out of energy from his food. The sloth is also slow in their movement. That is one of the major dangers to a sloth, is if they're on the ground, they can only, they just drag themselves. They can't pick up on their legs and walk. It's more like they have 4 arms and no legs than 4 legs and no arms. But they are absolutely designed to be upside down. They cannot walk at any time. So if they're going like directly perpendicular across the road and they're only moving 6 feet per minute and it's 50 feet across, it's going to take them 10 minutes just to walk across a road. So that's majorly dangerous for them. Another major danger is power lines for sloths, because they don't understand the electrical grounding principle, surprisingly. So the sloths, when they are in the tops of the trees, they are safe from other animals. The sloth is safe from snakes because snakes hunt by smell and by temperature difference. A sloth, since it doesn't maintain its body temperature is exactly what everything else is. And it has no scent. It has no scent gland, musk gland, sweat gland, none of that. So a sloth doesn't smell like anything except the moss and algae that's all in its fur. So it is literally impossible for a snake to find a sloth. If they did find a sloth, it would be just pure dumb luck and coincidence. The cats can't get to the sloth because when the sloth detects motion above it, it's going to be get to the end of the branch, get to the end of the branch, and then when it gets here, it's going to be boing down under the branch, right? And then if the cat is trying to come at this sloth along the top of the branch, when he gets to where the branch bends down, what's he going to do, right? I mean, there's no way for him to get there. And if the cat pressed the issue to the point that the branch and the whole mess fell 100 feet all the way to the floor of the rainforest, the sloth will almost certainly survive, and the cat will almost certainly not. And the sloth will look over at the cat and he'll say, ha, ha, and back up the tree he goes. And the cat will not be returning to the rainforest. So the one animal tree is the eagle. The eagle doesn't rely on smell. It doesn't rely on the weight of the branch to hold it. It doesn't rely on temperature difference. So the harpy eagle is the main thing that can get to a sloth on the top of the tree. And yet, even though they're safe in the top of the tree, the sloth still comes down the tree, same side of the tree, every single time to go to the bathroom. And that just begs the question, why, right? Because if he's safe in the top of the tree and risking his life when he comes down the tree, that makes very little sense. And yet, that's the way that he does it every time. The sloth comes all the way down the tree, same side of the tree, to go to the bathroom in the exact same place that he always goes, and he does that once in a week or 10 days, 3 or 4 times a month. It's all that he goes to the bathroom. Yeah, and when he does, he's going to eliminate 1/3 of his total body mass. He eats 10% of his weight every day, and when he eventually goes to the bathroom, he's going to eliminate 1/3 of his total body mass, which means he did very efficiently convert from food to energy the vast amount of what he ate. Because, I mean, if he ate 10% a day for 10 days, that means he's eating 100% of his weight, and he's going to eliminate 1/3. So that means the other 2/3 were converted to energy. But the sloth is Yeah, he's just trying to make sure he gets to lick all of it.
Yeah. I was trying to scoop it all up. So we don't have to worry about him peeing on us.
No, once in a week or 10 days, that's all.
Okay.
So, the first ideas on why a sloth come down a tree to go to the bathroom made no sense. The first idea that they thought for a significant period of time was a sloth is just a neat animal. This makes no sense. He's not Adrian Monk. He's not going to risk his life to be a neat animal, right? And the next idea was that he's fertilizing his own tree via his waste. Again, no sense in that. If he went to the bathroom from anywhere in the canopy of the tree, it's going to land again above the root system of the tree, so no net effect. Why risk his life, right? So the actual reason why a sloth comes all the way down the tree, same side of the tree, every single time to use the bathroom is the sloth-moth symbiotic relationship. So in the wild, not here, praise the Lord, in the wild, sloths need moths and moths need sloths. The sloth will have about 100 to 150 moths living in his fur all of the time. It is a symbiotic relationship, meaning beneficial to both sides, where parasitic would mean beneficial to one side, neutral or harmful to the other side. The benefit to the moth is that the sloth is the food source and the living environment of the moths. The moths will live their entire life on the sloth. The only reasons that they are going to leave the sloth at all is to drink water that pools up in the leaves in the top of the rainforest, and to lay eggs in the waste pile when the sloth comes down the tree. So when the sloth comes down the tree, he comes all the way down and he gets his hiney right to the ground and he does his little potty dance and he eliminates 1/3 of his total body mass at once. Now let's put this to human perspective. I weigh about 200 pounds. That is me rolling into Outback saying, bring me 20 of the 16-ounce porterhouse steaks. That's what I'm going to eat right now and every other day. If I rolled through the Golden Arches, that means I'm saying, bring me about 80 of those quarter pounders. That's what I'm going to eat today, right? As far as just pure weight. Obviously, I couldn't do that. And then the way that it will work from there, if I start from 200, means I'm going to eat and 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 eat until my body mass reaches about 260 pounds. And then boom, all the way back to 200 in 2 or 3 minutes. So for a 200-pound person, that's dropping off 60 pounds of solid and liquid waste all at once in 2 or 3 minutes. Can you imagine that? I mean, we're talking about a bag of dog food in a 5-gallon bucket, right? So that's huge.
I'm too short to get any closer to him. I want to, but I'm just not.
Well, you're going to hold and snuggle the other ones.
Oh.
Yeah. So when the sloth comes down the tree, the moths fly down off of the sloth into the waste pile, and they all lay their eggs. So this week's eggs are next week's larvae are the following week's moths. So every time that he comes down the tree, there's another step in the process. So every time he comes down, there are new moths that have hatched in the waste pile that fly up onto the sloth and live their whole life on the sloth.
Wow.
So we said the benefit to the moth, which there is a type of moth in the world called a sloth moth that lives nowhere on earth except in the fur and in the waste pile of a sloth. The benefit to the sloth moth is that the moth eats the moss and algae that is all in the sloth's fur, and the moth then fertilizes the same via his waste. So more moths means more moss, more algae, more disguise from harpy eagles, which is the one thing that can get to him at the top of the tree. So he looks like the rainforest and he smells like the rainforest and he's the temperature of the rainforest. This is part of the difficulty in researching sloths. They're darn hard to find. So the benefit to the sloth is a little harder to figure out on the face of it. There are 3 main benefits to the sloth. First, as the sloth grooms himself, he licks up a certain amount of the waste of he licks up a certain amount of the moths themselves. That is the sloth's protein source in the rainforest. Second, as he grooms himself, he licks up a certain amount of the waste of the moths. The waste of the moths are the key to the game for the sloth. The waste of the moths is where the sloth gets his probiotics that make him digest his food. And now here, we don't need the moths for 3 specific reasons. One, he doesn't need the camouflage that comes from the moths fertilizing the moss and algae in his fur, because nothing is here hunting him. Second, he doesn't need the protein from the moth bodies, because we give him other protein sources. Third, he doesn't need the probiotics. Now, we also have helpful gut bacteria, right? Our gut bacteria will last throughout our lives, unless we take a whole lot of antibiotics, in which case we need probiotics to fix our gut health back up. So we get our probiotics from either live cultured probiotics from GNC, or good Greek yogurt from Publix. This guy doesn't know where Publix is, and he's never heard of GNC, and he doesn't have a car. So they need a different source for their probiotics in the wild. Now, what ends our gut bacteria colony is antibiotics. What interrupts his gut health is cold temperature. In the rainforest, he gets cold every day. Gets cold every night, gets warm every day. So he's continuously replacing his gut bacteria in the rainforest. Here, we never ever let a sloth get cold. And if the sloth never ever gets cold, it's just like if we never ever took antibiotics. We wouldn't have to worry at all about our gut health. So that's why we don't need these nasty moths here in captivity. Now, whenever I'm doing a live, I'm careful to do a disclaimer. A lot of people will look at what we're doing here and think it's a good idea to buy themselves a pet sloth. A sloth is not a pet. There is no reputable breeder of sloths that will sell you a sloth for a pet, because there is a lot that goes into keeping a sloth alive, healthy, and happy, and you guys are going to be learning all about that today, because you are our sloth keepers of the day. But the rest of this talk is, what most people get when they come here for the sloth encounter. I'm just doing the sloth encounter part, and then you guys are doing the keeper part with Michaela. So I always do a disclaimer to say, please don't buy a sloth off the internet. If you do, you are absolutely buying an animal that was taken out of the rainforest, because no breeder will sell a sloth to a private individual. Second, they will all tell you that the sloth is captive bred, but if you challenge them to produce the parents, it ain't gonna happen. And third, these animals are many generations captive bred. This is the difference between a house cat and a feral cat. If you have a house cat, it'll sit in your lap and purr while you pet it. If you have a feral cat and you try to hold that in your lap, it's gonna claw your eyes out while it tries to get away, right? So if you buy a sloth off the internet, it won't go well for you, it won't go well for the sloth. So please don't do that. And the other thing there's sink water, soap, towels right there. The other thing about that I give a disclaimer about is, if you're going on a sloth encounter, please look before you book. Places to book their sloths for hours and hours a day. That is about the love of money, not about the love of sloths. So that's why here, the sloth keeper is the only experience that lasts more than 30 minutes. And so aside from sloth keeper, all the sloths only do 2 hours encounters per day, only 2 people in an encounter. So that's why our sloths don't get stressed out. And according to the government of Costa Rica, or slothconservation.org, or slothconservancy.net, these places all say that, generally speaking, the sloths that are taken from the rainforest to captivity only survive about 2 months. And ours will likely live about 50 years.
Wow.
Because we don't stress them. And because they were never wild to begin with. Ours are many, many generations captive bred. Generationally, they are further removed from the rainforest than I am from the American Revolution. So, anywho, the other things about a sloth. The sloth has a structure to his eyes called a rod monochromacy. That means that he has all rod cells, no cone cells. So the sloth, if you've seen on a movie or something, the way that the military guys are running around with the night vision goggles on and you see moving blobs out in front of them. That's what a sloth sees. So he sees motion very, very well, but he sees objects very poorly. So he can't see the difference between me and either one of you. He really can't. He just sees 3 moving blobs around in here. Now, he knows us apart because I've been with this sloth every day for 4 years, and he knows, just throw it in the sink. He knows what I sound like, and he knows what I smell like. And so when I open his door in the morning and say, "Hey, Flash," if he's not already hanging there waiting, he comes scurrying right down. And see all the smears on the glass here, that's on his side.
Oh, yeah.
Where if it's if it's 10:01 when I get here, he's already in the door smearing his nose around going, "Come on, it's time for the thing, let's do the thing now." And if I'm here at 10:05, he's in here beating the heck out of the door like this.
Oh my gosh.
And, yeah, it has to be pretty quiet to hear a sloth beating the heck out of a door. But anyway, so, and on any day that for whatever reason he doesn't feel like participating, he doesn't. We have more sloths, you'll see a different sloth. The sloth does not have to perform to eat. And this guy was not captive bred, he was captive bred. He wasn't ambassador raised the way that Dash and Zoe were. So this sloth has never been held. And getting him to do his encounters like this, that was 2 years in the making. And whatever he doesn't eat is going to go in his dish in there. He's going to get this food whether he eats it from you or not. And teaching him to eat food out of your hand was take food out of his dish, offer it to him, and if he doesn't want it, back in the dish. And they almost dashed the breakfast time.
He's like, "I'll take it."
I'll take it.
So it was more than a year until he consistently wanted to eat out of my hand. And it was almost 2 years before he started doing guest encounters that he consistently wanted to eat out of a guest's hands. But and if he never had decided he wanted to, he would have lived here anyway. I mean, it's okay. But even so, I have never held this sloth. Now he comes down, he runs his hands all through my hair, and makes my hair all a mess, which doesn't need a lot of help. And he puts his face up against my face like this, and he rubs shoulder to shoulder against me like that. But he's never made any move to move onto my body. So, and that's his choice, not my choice. Now I do wish that he would, because the other sloths go out for walks. When it's nice outside, he can't go out for a walk because he doesn't want to be held. But, and actually we may in a few minutes take this guy out for a walk because it's overcast right now, and later on it's going to be sunny. They don't get to go out
Yeah, it's
for
not
morning
gonna
walks
be
all
real
that
hot
often.
today.
It's going to be 87, but the clouds aren't supposed to burn off till like noon or so. So other things about the sloth. He has huge teeth. You saw in the picture how big sloth's teeth are. They look bigger in a skeleton because there's no gums and skin and whatever. But his teeth grow for all his life, and they sharpen one against each other like this. So a rodent, it's their 2 buck teeth that grow, and they sharpen them on wood and things like that. The sloths, if you hear a little noise when this guy sits and opens and closes his mouth, his teeth are sharpening against each other. So they're going to live 20 years in the rainforest, and they don't have a toothbrush. So that's how their teeth wear down all the time and grow all the time. The sloth is crazy strong. He can do a 1-arm pull-up by any of his 4 arms, but then he can hang there for a long, long time, which is not a matter of strength, it's a matter of design. So you see how the sloth has been hanging there for quite a while now already, and he can continue to hang there for days. The reason for that is that for us, this is our exertion state, and this is our relaxed state. For the sloth, it's the opposite. This is relaxed, this is exertion. It's because he has tremendously tight tendons in his hand and in his forearm right there, so pop, clamp down like that, that's his relaxed state. And I had a bicep injury. I tore my rotator cuff and didn't get it fixed in time, and when I went to get it fixed, they said that my bicep is connected down here instead of up here, and if they fixed it, my arm would be like wah, all jacked up like this for a long, long time. Basically, that's what's going on with a sloth, is that his tendons here are really tight, so pop, that's relaxed. This is exertion. So when you're holding Zoe in a little while, if she's like got her hand up around your neck like this, and she's holding on too tightly, you just tap tap and she'll let go. Tap tap, she'll let go. But remember that the clamp down, see how he's clamped down on my shirt? The clamp down is their normal relaxed state. Hey, it's overcast right now, so I was thinking we might take the sloth outside for a walk.
Okay.
Is Michaela out there?
I have not seen her recently.
Hmm.
Do you want me to radio for her?
I imagine she'll be back soon enough. So the sloth, crazy strong, and we talked about 46 outside things. The sloth hangs upside down horizontally like this. He hangs upside down vertically like that a lot of the time. He might be right side up on a branch like this guy is right now, or he might be laying on his back belly or side. He's got hammocks up there that he sleeps in. So for us, if we stood on our head for a couple of hours, that's just all bad, right? But the sloth, it's okay. So the difference is that for us, our organs are just sitting in our diaphragm, in our pelvis, and upper bounded by our diaphragm, but everything's kind of loose in there. For the sloth, his stuff has all got connective tissue going all back and forth between his ribs and his organs. So no matter his body position, the position and orientation of his organs remains the same. People often ask me, how can the sloth swallow upside down? We can too, we just don't usually have occasion to. Peristalsis is the muscle spasm that moves our food from the back of our mouth down to our stomach. He's got the same thing, although his esophagus goes all the way down and around his stomach and then in. But same way that he swallows is the same way that we swallow. But then he does have a one-way in the top of his stomach that food goes in, but it can't go out. So that is why he can hang upside down and his food doesn't like leak back up out of his stomach, like if he had acid reflux or something. So this guy is absolutely designed from the beginning, from the drawing board. He is designed to be an upside down animal. And a lot of people don't know that a sloth has ears. These are the sloth's ears right here. So what his ears look like.
Goodness, so
Proportional
tiny.
to their head. Their ears are just as big as our ears are proportional to our head. Flash is
He's like, I'm getting away from here.
like, I don't want you to mess with my ears today. Did you guys pet him?
Yeah.
He's softer than he looks like he He's more
Yeah.
coarse than this one, but he's softer than he looks. So it's overcast. I was thinking you might let these guys take Dash outside for a walk and a stroll. What do you think?
Oh, look, there's a kangaroo in there.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that.
surely there is. All right, here
Oh,
you
he's
go.
so cute, too.
I'll show them how to hold Dash. And I don't know, Zoe is pretty heavy. They can make their own determination.
Yeah,
If Zoe's going out for a walk,
She went to the bathroom last night, so she's been kind of like all over the place this morning. I don't know if it'll be, if she would.
well, you can make your own decision on that.
Yeah. So I think we'll just do Dash for now. Do we know who wants to start out with Holden? Okay. So we just support him underneath his booty as long as we support him there. He's got a good, grip around your waist there. You just support him and keep him real slow down his back. So I'll transfer him over and he'll just wrap his little legs around your torso. Oh, man. We'll head out this way, Ben. We'll kind of walk around outside, let him get some fresh air.
Grab our phones, and we can leave our purses in here?
Yeah, they'll be good in here.
All right.
Alright, you have my attention. And we looked it up and it is a black-bellied sheep, which makes you think, what's the difference between a sheep and a goat? And the only biological difference that stands true all the time between sheep and goat is that sheep tails go down and goat tails go up. So that is a
Hey guys, I'm going to stand on the back side of the camera here and answer a few questions for you. If anybody has a question, you're welcome to ask them. How do they sleep? He is completely relaxed like that. He can sleep upside down, right side up. And this guy actually generally sleeps laying in a hammock. His hammock is up in his room, and his room is this room right here. And this room goes 20-some feet up, and he's got a big old room in there. He generally sleeps laying in a hammock, but sloths in the wild sleep hanging upside down or hanging right side up. What does he eat? He eats primarily leaves, and he eats a small amount of veggies. What's in the dish over there is sweet potato, zucchini, squash, and sweet potatoes, zucchini, squash, and yellow squash is what we've got today. So we cut them up stick shaped like this so they're easier for people to give to them. That's zucchini, and that's sweet potatoes, and these are yellow squash. And whatever he doesn't finish during his encounter goes into his dish in his room, and he will eat it later. All right, next question. Can we see his room, please? Sure, let me walk in there with it. His room is over here, and his room goes up like that.
John.
Sorry, Flash. Just about whacked him in the face with the door right there, y'all. Oops. All right, let's see what other questions we have here. And then I'm gonna let Kevin follow with the camera. They're taking Dash out for a walk. I think that's what you're gonna do, right?
I'm probably gonna go there to the farm tour.
Oh, farm tour, okay. Can we see his room? Yes, we did. So the other question people ask, oh, do they talk? Zoe goes, when you open her door, because she actively seeks human attention and wants to be held. I had some keyboard warrior arguing with me throughout the day yesterday that sloths hate to be held. I'm like, yeah, my 4 years of experience trumps what you've read somewhere online. Living the dream, yes I am. And it's not just the sloth, we have many animals here on the farm. Some sloths are my favorite. I would fall to the floor crying and sobbing if I even came close to one. Yes, a lot of people do. And, we don't generally post the ones where we break out crying. We feel that's kind of a private thing for them, generally speaking, unless they tell us, yeah, post that. It's pretty cool. I have intrusion thoughts. What if you punch a sloth when it's hanging? I have no idea. Obviously, we're not going to punch a sloth. You think you know everything, then what is it? Don't understand the question. He still is a statue. Yes, sloths are still a lot of the time. The baby looks like he wants to be with the other one. No, the baby wants to be with me. Sloths are solitary creatures. They don't come together except to mate, and that is only about once in 2 years. Is that the dad? No, Flash is not the dad of Dash. Dash was bred by a breeder. He is many generations captive bred, but Flash came from a different breeder. They are in no way related. He wants his mom. No, the sloths that are here don't come to us until their mother has weaned them of her own choosing, and if he was at the same place that his mom was, they would have no relationship. When a mother sloth weans its baby, she leaves the baby in the tree where she has raised it, and she ditches and never comes back. My dream is to hold a sloth. Come on here and hold a sloth. You go to our website, which is coe, O-C-O-E-E, riversidefarm.com, and go to encounters and scroll down and pick which encounter you would like to do. And we do encourage people, please look before you book. Our sloths only do 2 hours of encounters per day, only 2 people in an encounter, and we do not overbook our sloths. When you overbook a sloth, it stresses them to the point that their life can end. According to slothconservation.net or slothconservancy.org or the government of Costa Rica, many captive sloths have lifespans as short as 2 months because they are overstressed. Our sloths here will likely live for 50 years, and I've been with Flash one-on-one every day for about 4 years now. I think I've missed 4 days in 4 years. All right, I was scrolling backwards through questions, kind of rapid fire there, guys. Let me see if I missed any questions down at the bottom. You want a hug from them so bad? Yes, Zoe and Dash both give hugs and snuggles. Flash does not. Flash doesn't do hugs and snuggles. Flash was raised for static display. How do you get him back and forth from his room to the visiting room? He walks on his own. He walks through the doorway. He is long and slinky-like, and he just goes right through. Does he recognize you? Yes, they don't recognize me by sight. They have a structure to their eyes called rod monochromacy, so they see motion well. They see shapes poorly. So he knows what I sound like and he knows what I smell like. He recognizes me by hearing and by smell, not by sight. All right, guys. Will that one let you hold them? The one that's hanging on the branch right here does not do holding. The other two do. Flash didn't come here until he was 2 years old. He wasn't oriented to it from birth, so it would not be a natural behavior for him. And we don't make our animals do, sloths or any other animal here, we don't make our animals do things that they don't want to do. She glad they don't pay the bills. Yeah, the bills around here are pretty high. All right, guys, I think Kevin is going to take you all out on the farm tour now. And I am signing off. I'll talk to you all later. Glad I can answer a few questions for you there. Please do come out and see us at CoeRiversideFarm.com.
Alright, so this guy right here is ironically pretty much the only animal we don't pet.
Oh my gosh, what is it?
This is a mountain coati. So his name is Coda. He is a cousin of the raccoon. Please get off me, go.
Can we take your picture with him?
Absolutely. Just don't post it in. No, I'm kidding. I don't care. But he is the South American version of a raccoon, so he's native to Central and South America. They're starting to kind of migrate up, so you can see a lot of these guys in Mexico. You can see him in parts of southern Texas. He's not at all related to a lemur or an anteater, despite his tail and his nose. But his nose does serve the same purpose as something like an anteater. He uses it to dig in the ground for insects, worms, and things like that. If you look at his claws, they're very long and sharp. So he uses that to climb up and down trees. These are freshly trimmed, and that's about as short as they'll go. And then his feet rotate 180 degrees, so he can run up a tree and down a tree at the same impressive speed. So in the wild, he generally eats things like eggs from bird nests, or insects, or leaves, or pretty much anything that he can get his hands on. If he could get the bird in the bird nest, he would eat that too. But he usually can't. So in captivity, all of our animals have these diet sheets. For those of you who can't see it, I'm pointing at a diet sheet. On the side of their cages. And his diet sheet legitimately just says, whatever you can eat, he can eat. So just like raccoons, they kind of have stomachs of titanium. So a lot of times here he gets a pretty healthy diet. He gets veggies, grapes, maybe ham, lunch meat, thing of that nature. But if we have pizza one night, we have an extra slice of pizza, we'll give him pizza. Or we'll give him a hamburger. It doesn't bother him at all. He loves it. And also, like people, he has specific things that he prefers. So there's some things that he likes that the other two coati in there do not like. I don't really know that one. So Coda's a very territorial creature. So anything that you have, he will get. Which in fact reminds me, I always take my phone out of my pocket and still check eventually. But if you have bracelets or rings or phones, wallets, anything like that, he will take them from you. Show, bad idea. Go over there. So we're trying to teach him what the Rolex symbol looks like, but it's a little bit of work in progress. He used to live in the house. This guy's sweet and cuddly to me usually, but other people maybe not so much. Especially if he gets something you have, you should not try and take it back from him. One of my good friends from college was here, and I was in that room with him, and I was showing him Coda and letting him run around on the ground. And he decided he was going to put his phone on the ground to take a video of the animal running across it. And I turned around, wasn't paying attention, was washing my hands. And as I turned back around, I kind of like in slow motion, saw him reaching for his phone. And this thing clawed him, to which his adjunct reaction was to rip his hand back. He ended up going to the hospital and getting 9 stitches in his hand. So this thing's teeth and claws are very sharp. And if you try and take something from him, he will claw and bite you. So he can be a little bit mean sometimes.
Did you raise him from a baby? I'm impressed with that one.
Yes, we did raise him from a baby. So I also fed this guy bottles when he was 1, 2 months old.
Oh, did he miss
missed one.
It kind of
You missed one, dude. Babies. Oh, I didn't even let them out. So next animal we're going to look at is called Bakugan. As a kid, I used to love these Bakugan toys. I don't know if you guys have seen them before, but they're tiny little balls, and then you have this trivial card game. You throw them on the ball, and this one is effective. Usually they pop open. Oh, okay, there we go. But anyway, that's what a Bakugan is, so you'll understand why that's relevant in a second. We'll get them for you. Kevin, just wanted to get them. Maybe.
You might. Hey Kevin, he's in the outside flashes.
So this guy is a Brazilian three-banded armadillo. Kind of looks like a coach ball. This is the only armadillo that closes into a complete ball as its head comes alongside his tail. So if you've ever seen armadillos out in Texas or anywhere like that, those are 9-banded armadillos, which have anywhere between 7 and 11 bands. But this guy does have 3 bands. I'll let you guys feel this. This is not his shell. It's a keratin, so it's kind of more part of his body. That's why you can see layers of skin and hair coming through it. If you guys want to feel like what it feels like, you're welcome to it. And he's trying to open up right now, kind of holding him closed, but I'll let him run around in a second. But these guys are pretty interesting creatures. We're trying to get a female one of these. Right now we just have a male. Females are kind of hard to come by because when armadillos have babies, about 90% of the time, about 90% of the time, they have 4 identical quadruplets that are always males. So it's really hard to come by a female. And that guy's kind of expensive to start with, and a female is much more expensive. And breeders don't want to sell them when they get a female, so it's kind of hard to find one. This guy right here is just a year old. When he's full grown, he is allegedly supposed to be the size of a soccer ball. I don't really see that happening, but I'm not a zoologist, so maybe he will be. And he can also allegedly run over 30 miles an hour. I'd have to see that to believe it, but their peer-reviewed studies are better than my assumptions, so I suppose he will be able to run as fast as Usain Bolt, theoretically. You guys can pick him up if you want. If anyone has a special desire to hold him, it's nothing, but all I ask is hold them no more than like 2 feet off the ground, because if he fell, it would be detrimental to him. If you want to hold him, get it. You can either hold him one of 2 ways. You can hold him like a baby and he'll squirm, or you can hold it like a basketball. You pick. Okay. If you want to set him down, let him run around, that's fine. I think that's what he would prefer.
He's so tiny.
Yeah, he is a little guy.
I believe something in the trash over there.
So these guys don't really have too many predators out in the wild. A lot of things, it's not really worth their time to try and eat him because it's very difficult. But one of the main things that is a predator towards him would be a big bird like an eagle or a hawk or something of that nature, in which they could fly up with him and drop him from a big height and allow him to open up due to no longer being alive and then eat him. But other than that, nothing really bothers them. We need to quit letting this thing walk around. It is a Brazilian three-banded armadillo. What are you doing?
That's hilarious.
Look at the tail wagging.
That is pretty cute. I hope it doesn't eat it.
He's grooming. Looking for bugs.
So in the wild, these two actually have a mutualistic relationship. I'll probably go ahead and put that guy back and grab the next thing. Come on, Bucky.
Yep, certain rooms we have to keep at a higher temperature than the rest of the barn. That's where the dragons are. You know they can't get cold.
Yeah, he's playing with him.
This girl right here is a hedgehog. Her name is Penelope. She kind of just woke up because these guys are nocturnal. But you are welcome to hold her. On the top, she's very spiky. But on the bottom, she's very soft. So if you want to hold her, you kind of just scoop her like this. And then if you want to take a picture or whatever and see her face, you can just hold her like that. So I'm going to set her on the ground. Oh, it's good. I'm not going to set her on the ground.
Sheep, right?
Oh, yes, sheep. You're right. Feel free to pass that around. So a lot of people will ask, can hedgehogs shoot their quills like porcupine? I tell them exactly like porcupine because porcupine can't shoot their quills either. Porcupine quills can be up to 4 feet like we were talking about earlier. This is a quill from the baby out there that's 3 months old. And also as they grow, their quills develop barbs on the end of them. So that's the reason a lot of people thought they were getting shot by porcupines, because if you run by a porcupine, their defense is to sideways step into you, so you could turn around and see a leg full of barbs and assume that you got shot by a porcupine, but you did not. Hedgehog quills don't have barbs on the end of them, so they don't just get pulled out when you make contact with them. Also, hedgehog quills are this big versus this from a baby porcupine, so a very different experience with each of them. Also, generally, hedgehogs are just a lot friendlier than the ones that stab you.